Hey friends, it's Jenna. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a hair tutorial. That's right, stepping away from my Poshmark content just for a little bit to show you guys how I create this look. And I like to call this my beach boho vibes. It's a little bit messy. We've got some wavy curl action with the straight ends, and it's just a few steps. I'm going to show you the products that I'm using and how to recreate this look. And I have never done a hair tutorial before, so please bear with me, but let's get into the video. So normally when I get out of the shower, I put my hair up in a towel. This is one of those like microfiber towels that absorbs more water because my hair is pretty thick. It holds onto a lot of water, and my hair is naturally like a little curly, a little wavy. It dries pretty frizzy and pretty poofy. So these are just the steps that I follow. I figured I would show you everything. So when I get out of the shower, this is what I look like. I normally will do my makeup while my hair kind of dries a little bit, towel dries. And for the shampoo and conditioner I use, I have been using this Nexus set recently. I'd probably say for the last like 7 or 8 months, and I really liked it. I think I used to use this a long time ago and I just kind of got back into it, but it's the Nexus Therapy Ultimate Moisture Shampoo. It's silicone free, and this is just what it looks like. And then I also use the conditioner that goes with it. So it says step 2 on it. It is the Humectress conditioner, and I always run through shampoo faster than conditioner. So I have the huge bottle of shampoo, but this is just the smaller bottle of conditioner. And I'm going to link all the products I'm talking about below down in the description box. So if you want to look at them a little bit closer, see exactly what I'm using, just check out the description box down below. So I washed my hair with the Nexus shampoo and conditioner, and then I put it up in the towel, let that towel dry, and I'm just going to take it down and kind of shake it out a little bit, and I'm going to put in my styling product, which is the Living Proof. It's the Prime Style Extender. I have been using this stuff for years. I've probably gone through, I don't know, like 5 or 6 bottles of this stuff, so here's what that looks like. But since I do have longer, thicker hair, I use a good amount. I would probably say I use about a nickel size, so a little bit more than I would use if I had shorter hair, but I like it because it doesn't weigh your hair down. So I'm just applying it mainly to the ends, and then I'm going to just rub whatever I have left on my hands, and I'm going to run it through the roots and then just kind of bring it through. So it doesn't like weigh your hair down or make it greasy, and what it does is it kind of smooths everything out. So when you're blow drying, I think it helps to fight any kind of like frizz. And then it's called the Style Extender, so hopefully it then helps to, you know, obviously extend your style and allow you to go like a couple days between blow drying. But like I said, I've been using it forever, and whenever I don't use it, I definitely notice a difference. My hair seems frizzier. So after I run it through with my fingers, now I'm just gonna brush it through a little bit just to continue to distribute it and make sure my hair doesn't have any tangles. So it does help also be able to brush through your hair. Now that I have the styling product in, the first step is to obviously dry my hair, and I use the Dyson dryer, the Dyson hair dryer. I've had this thing for years, pretty much when it first came out, because since I have such thick hair, I hate spending time on blow drying it. I like for that process to be as fast as possible, and the Dyson, oh my gosh, it dries my hair so fast. I think it's definitely worth the investment. I'm gonna, like I said, link all my hair tools, and I do use, I would say, higher end hair tools, but I use them almost every single day. So if you think about it, the cost per use, if you divide it out, it's definitely worth it because it's something that you use all the time. So I'll link some like lower end stuff that I think is comparable or would be a good step if it's a little bit more budget friendly, but the Dyson is hands down one of my favorites. So I'm gonna take off the nozzle, and I'm just going to rough dry my hair until it's about 95% dry, so almost all the way dry. Then I'm gonna add the nozzle on, and I'm going to kind of smooth everything out. And when I blow dry my hair with no nozzle, I just kind of use my hands, and then when I put the nozzle on, I use a round brush, and this is a Moroccan oil round brush. Honestly, I think any of the ceramic ones are good, and this one's probably like 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So let's get blow drying. Okay, so it's pretty dry. Like I said, 95% of the way dry. I like to get it as dry as possible and then just smooth it out. And you see that I was aiming my hair dryer down the whole time. I don't flip my head over, because when you flip your head over, it can rough the cuticle up and it can just make it look even more frizzy and disturbed. So if you always aim the hair dryer down, then it smooths down the cuticle of your hair and it's gonna look just shinier, healthier, and not as frizzy. As you can see, I don't like frizzy hair. So yeah, let's go ahead and put the nozzle on with the Dyson. It's just magnetic, so it's super easy to use. And I'm gonna take my round brush and I'm just going to, again, smooth it out. And I'm also gonna focus mainly around like the front of my head and the top, like where you're gonna see it along my part, just because I want that to look the smoothest. And when I use my curling iron on the rest of the hair, you're not really gonna see the top of it. So yeah, let's get smoothing. One other thing before I get all the way into it and just fast forward it, when I'm doing the front of my hair and the top, I kind of over direct it and pull the hair forward, because that's going to smooth it and create a little bit of like volume or a bump at the top. So that's why I'm blow drying it forward, and it's gonna be all in my face for a minute. Dry. It's still a little bit like frizzy at the bottom, but we're gonna take care of that when we style it with the curling iron and the flat iron. So I use two different heat tools on my hair, and the reason being that I'm trying to create this kind of like undone, messy beach wave look. I call it like a beach boho wave, and I want the ends to be really straight and smooth, but I want the middle portion and a little towards the top to be kind of wavy. So I like to use a straightener on the bottom, a flat iron on the bottom, because my hair is colored and sometimes that means it can just look a little bit, I don't know, frizzy on the ends. And since my hair is curly, it's hard to get the ends really smooth. So what I like to do first is just go through and flat iron just like the bottom, I would say like 2 inches or so of my hair. And I do it kind of messily, like I don't separate or section it out. So I'm gonna plug in my flat iron next, and I use a T3. I think it's called the single pass Luxe, I'm pretty sure, but I've had this one for probably like 5 years. It's lasted a really long time. Again, it's that like ceramic technology on the plate, so it's better for your hair. And yeah, I'm just using this on the end, so I'm gonna plug it in and then I'll show you how I straighten that. Okay, so my iron is heated up and I'm just going to grab sections and again straighten only the bottom part. I will probably brush through and then just take it and smooth it down the bottom part of my hair. Again, I just want to easily create that straight look on the ends, and instead of spending a ton of time trying to get it straight blow drying, I just find it easier to go through with the flat iron. And this doesn't have to be too perfect when you're sectioning or anything. You just mainly want to make it look straight. So I'm just going around my whole head and doing that. Okay, so now that that's all straight, the next step is to curl and create that kind of messy wave. And I use another T3 tool. I use their curling iron, and what I really like about their curling iron is you can actually get a base and you can get different size barrels, so it can be multiple curling irons in one instead of having to have different sizes. Now I mainly use, I'm pretty sure this is the 1 inch, so I mainly use the 1 inch barrel, and I also really like the clip on it. I personally don't like curling wands. I just find that this produces a more even curl, like you can curl the whole piece of hair at one time. It's a little bit smoother and I feel like I have better control over it. I know sometimes it can take a little bit of practice if you're not used to using a curling iron, so one of my tips is you could actually curl your hair when the iron is off and just practice the motions of curling your hair. That way you get used to holding it when it's actually hot and on. But I'm gonna go ahead and heat this up and then I'll come back. So while my curling iron is heating up, I'm gonna go ahead and section off my hair. I just find it easier to curl in sections, especially because I have thick hair. So depending if your hair is thick or thinner, if you have less hair or more hair, you're gonna have more or less sections. Since I part my hair down one side, this one side I normally actually go in 4 rows, but I'll just section that off at the very end, as you'll see. So I'm going to take my top section, and I use these like alligator looking claw clips. I don't know exactly what they're called. And I will just twist my hair up, clip that off, and then I take the next section, which is like right above the ear, and again I'm just going to take another clip and clip that one off. So I have 3 separate sections on my head. My curling iron is now hot, and what I'm gonna do, it might be harder to see on these bottom sections, so I'm gonna show you obviously like how I curl my hair right here. I'll probably speed it up on the bottom, and then I'm gonna show you again on the next layer. That way you can see in different areas of my head how I'm curling. But what I do is I grab 1 inch sections. So usually you wanna use your curling iron as a guide. The top of mine is not hot, obviously, but you wanna grab about 1 inch sections because your curling iron's 1 inch. If you are using a bigger iron, you could grab a bigger section. And if you are using a smaller iron, you could grab a smaller section. But I'm just going to take my curling iron and I'm going to curl away from my face. And I'm gonna come in a little closer. So I'm going up onto the section of hair and I'm twisting away from my face. And I'm gonna gently release the clamp a little bit and move down the section of hair, but I'm leaving out the end. So I don't know if you can see that right there. I'm leaving out about 1 inch, 1.5 inches on the end because I want that messy look. And I'm just gonna hold this in my hair for about 10 seconds. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, depending on if the section is a little bit thicker. And then I'm just going to release it out. You can see I have a curl and then the end of it is pretty straight. I just let that hang there and I let it cool down. So I don't do anything to it immediately. I'm gonna grab the next section of my hair. And again, I know it's a little harder to see right here, but I'm just gonna go away from my face and twist. And as I twist, just gently press on the clamp a little bit. And I'm leaving that little section of my hair out. So for me, it's usually about, I don't know, 1 turn or 2 turns of the curling iron, and I hold it for a little bit, and I'm gonna release. So I'm gonna finish the bottom. Once each layer is curled, I then spray it with hairspray, and lately I've been using the Kristen S Signature Finishing Hairspray, and I get this at Target. Kristen S, I believe, was the hairstylist or is the hairstylist for Lauren Conrad and Lucy Hale and a bunch of celebrities. She created her own product line. They carry it at Target, and I think it's really great products and they're pretty affordable. So this is what it is. So I will just take this hairspray after I do each row, and I will spray that section and just let it, you know, cool down, dry, etc. I don't do anything to it until the very end. So now I'm going to take down the next clip. And this is a bigger section of hair. It's probably going to be easier to see what I'm doing. And I'm going to take my first 1 inch section. And for some reason, I always start on this side of my face, my left side, and work my way around. I don't know why. I've always done that. And I always brush through the section before I curl it. So I want to make sure that it is smooth and flat. And then I grab my curling iron, and again, I put it on that section, curl away from my face. I do 1 turn, wait a second. I pump the clip and I do another turn. And then that's probably all I'm gonna do. You can see I have a good chunk of the hair out of it. I'm just gonna let that, you know, curl for a second or 5 or 10. And then I'm going to just use the clip and release. And again, there is the curl and the straight end on the bottom, and I'm just going to let that chill. I'm gonna go to my next section. Again, brush through it. take this and curl away from my face. I usually start pretty close to the top because it's gonna fall some and I want it to be smooth up there. So I start curling, I would say like a ½ inch away from my root or from where my hair grows out. And then again, you leave some out. This one, it looks like I left a little bit smaller of a section out. I don't always do the same length because I want it to look kind of messy and just unintentional, even though obviously we're spending time doing this. So it can be different lengths that are out, and then yeah, that's what the curl looks like. So I'm gonna speed up and do the rest of this layer. When you get to this side of your face or the other side, you are still wanting to curl away, so you're obviously gonna be curling in the opposite direction than the other side. Okay, again, we're going to take our hairspray and give it a good spread. Okay, now we're gonna take down the top section, and this is where, since I part my hair on the side, this side has a lot more hair over on it, so I'm actually gonna create one last section up here, and I'm gonna do that last. If you see that you missed a piece, like I kind of missed a piece under here, I'm just gonna go back in and curl that one the same way. Okay, so now that that section is done, I'm gonna again spray. Okay, and then I just have this top little section because again, my hair, I have more hair on this side, so I just separated this out. And it's really just a couple more curls. And I'm just using my thumb again to release the clamp a little bit as I twist. And then I'm leaving this out. Okay, so now we're all curled and sprayed, and I know they look pretty tight right now. You can still see obviously the ends are straight, but what I like to do is let this cool as long as possible before I move on to like what I'm doing. So whether I need to get dressed or if I'm not leaving the house for another like 30 minutes, I will just, you know, walk around with my hair like this, and then I'm going to loosen up the curls with my hands. So I'm gonna rake my fingers through it, and I'll come back and do that in a little bit once this has cooled a little more. Okay, I'm back. My hair has cooled some, so like I said, I'm just going to take my fingers and rake it through my hair and kind of shake it a little bit, just to like break up those curls. Now, they are going to fall a little bit more like as the day goes on, so I don't mind if they're a little bit big at first, which they usually are with my hair being so thick, and then they're gonna settle down a lot more. So let me just do this. And at this time, you could also use like a texture spray, especially if your hair is a little bit more fine than mine. You could just take a texture spray, go like that. Maybe I'll do that in another video. But this is basically how I get my curls that I've had in a lot of my recent videos that people have been asking about, my beachy, boho curls. And then, like I said, they'll settle down. So this is the final result of the tutorial. This is pretty much like my go-to day-to-day hairstyle, and I've gotten it down to a science. I can do it pretty quickly. Obviously, the more you do something, the faster you're gonna get. But please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, if you like seeing hair tutorials, and if you found it helpful at all. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any questions about any of the products or how I was styling it. And I really hope you enjoyed it. Again, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!